All right, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. You know what it is, man. So James Gunn has came out and he released the slate of the DCEU or the DCU going forward. I'm going to play the video and I'm going to come back and give my thoughts on what's the name. Now, I'm going to try to just let the video play. I'm not going to stop him. I'm going to try not to stop him. But I'm going to let the video play for the most part. So, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First,
let me stop that. All right, so he said that there's all the other projects is be DC Elseworld. Now, I'm going to go on record, be the first one to say this. That can be an actual thing that he's saying, that the Snyderverse can come back. Now I know y'all be like, why? Everybody probably saying in the comments, or they probably saying, why are we still talking about the Snyderverse is dead? I think that could be a way for it to come back, and I'm sure that there's people going to say that. Him saying DC Elseworld, basically Snyder's version of the story would be that, which would be epic if they did that. If they did that, that would be epic. But I think that he wants to get his slate going first before they even think about doing something like that. But who knows? That's just my assessment. But let's keep it going.
First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. And then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next...
All right, so let me stop that right there. So, I'll be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care about that. I don't give a fuck about that. If this shit isn't on the same lines as Invincible or Castlevania, I don't give a shit about it. It has to be better than them. And I highly doubt that it's better than those two. Those are like top, outside of manga, of course. But those are like top tier animation. You know what I'm saying? Top tier.
Next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy.
So this isn't a reboot then. This isn't a complete reboot. So you could have kept Henry Cavill. What? So how you gonna have? Why? 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 Why the fuck would I want to see Amanda Waller? Why? 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 I'm not interested so far. I'm not. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This sounds like fucking garbage.
Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Unless you're filming now, unless you've been filming 2025, I highly doubt that. That's going to be fast track. That I'm sorry. I'm highly doubt that. But let's go.
Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Now, that sounds good. I'm not going to lie. They should have did that, but that sounds good. But that's nothing new. Keep going.
Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series.
Like, what is this? Like, this, let's keep it going. I'll just explain.
It's called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
Now, that might be good. That might be good.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
All right, man. That was your boy, James Gunn. All right, so my thoughts on this. I'm not interested at all. At all. Maybe 2 projects I probably would say I'll be interested in. But the whole overall premise of this, I'm not interested at all. Out the gate, I'm not interested in the series, the cartoon series. I think there's only one cartoon series that was, all the rest of would be live action, but I think there was only one cartoon that he mentioned. I don't give a fuck about Booster Gold. I don't care. I don't care about Amanda Waller's story. Who gives a shit? Like, you're saying that this was a reboot, but you're using the same characters and you get rid of Henry Cavill. It just lets me know that you just didn't want to work with Henry Cavill. It has nothing to do with what's in it, because you could have made it work, but you didn't. So I don't understand it. Why? Like what the fuck is that? Again, if you're coming out with your the cartoon or the animation, and you're saying that the characters are gonna play certain characters, they're gonna be the same voice actor. Some people just not good at voice acting. I would say that. Some voice acting is just ain't good. But overall, I'm interested in the Batman Bold and the Brave. I'm interested in that. I think that might be okay. But outside of that, man, this doesn't look good. It just doesn't look interesting. It's nothing that I would say, yes, I got to see that. None of this shit, even the Superman movie, none of this makes me feel like I have to see this. I do not feel like this. Or for none of these movies, not even the Batman one. I don't feel like it. Maybe because I feel like they're taking an easy way out by rebooting everything, or restarting over, or pre-restart. I don't know how you would say it, but I think that that's what they're doing, and it's annoying, and it just doesn't. You know what I say, man? Restore the Snyderverse, bring Zack back, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that since there are DC Elseworlds, I think they should just go ahead and let Zack finish the story. I think that that's the best thing. And I think that from there, if they was to do that, then the fans would just support. But other than that, I give 2 shits about this. I really don't. I don't care. I'm not really invested anymore. And it's like, it ain't nothing that I'm excited for. So either way, I'm out of here. Torture Talk, you know what it is. Like, share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button if you like the content, man. Peace.